And we're following the
There
breaking
has been
news
a
of
shooting there,
school shooting
and
at
that
an
shooting has
elementary school
happened
at
at
Sandy
Delaware
Hook
Valley
Elementary
Charter
School.
High
Since the year 1990, active shootings have accounted for over 200 deaths in our schools, with the majority of the victims being under the age of 18. In recent years, there has been a school shooting every month, and unfortunately, that average is on the rise. Since the year 2000, the number of people shot by active shooters has increased dramatically. Of those victims, an alarming percentage of them were killed. What's even more alarming is that out of all active shooter events, over 29% of them happen right inside of our school systems.
FBI studies show that almost all active shooters stop their reign of terror when the first hint of pressure is placed upon them. The Guardian system was designed to detect an active shooter and immediately alert the authorities in order to deter the shooter from inflicting further harm on their victims.
The Guardian Active Shooter Detection System. During an active shooter emergency, every second saves lives. Active shooting incidences are on the rise, and these events indicate that an indoor active shooter detection system will save lives. The Guardian provides immediate notification to security personnel and local law enforcement that a shot has been fired. The Guardian could initiate lockdown protocols, slew cameras throughout your school, and initiate phone alerts. The Guardian Indoor Active Shooter Detection System is mature, it is low cost, and it was developed from military technology. This technology and design are a direct result from efforts by DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Over 10,000 military units have been deployed. More than $20 million were spent developing the system. Given its superior technology, it has close to zero false alerts, as it can differentiate between the sound of a gunshot and other loud noises.
We found that this technology works extremely well with the system we have in place. And since 1995, we've been constantly building layers of defense, and we find this as one of the most important layers of defense that we have, because what it comes down to us for an active shooter is time to target. We need to be able to find out where the shot is detected, get to that location, and mitigate the threat.
To know exactly where that shot was fired and be able to immediately respond to that area cuts down a tremendous amount of time.
I'm just excited about this new technology that's going to be introduced to our school system. Primarily, it's the new age in which we talk about safety for all our youngsters. And more importantly, I think what it does, it brings us to the cutting edge of what it should be. We've all shown what has occurred throughout our country with issues that have really hurt, especially from Connecticut in the New England area, and just recently out in Washington, the state of Washington, which we just heard about this past week. So I'm very excited about this. I think it brings Methuen into the forefront in dealing with safety for our youngsters in particular, and more importantly, in how fast the police department and others can be here in response to what occurs.
When a gun is fired inside a school, the Guardian will sense the flash of the gun and detect the sound of the bullet. Then, through complex algorithms, it will locate and notify the authorities of the shooter's position within the building. Upon immediate detection, the system alerts police and rescue response teams. While the average duration of an active shooter event is only 12.5 minutes, the average response time for emergency personnel to arrive on scene after a shot is fired is 18 minutes. Every second saves lives.
Without SDS, a gunshot goes off in a room, in a building, in a corridor, in a school. You don't know where that shot is. Standing in the corridor, you're like, was it behind me? Was it in front of me? Was it down a corridor? So the reduction in time is dramatic from the initial response. But even more than that, once you arrive, and we're lucky enough in Methuen to have a school resource officer in every single school, immediately the officer gets the alert, and it's not, oh my God, there's a gunshot in my school. It's outside room 214, and he heads directly to that location. So it drastically, I say it takes that 3 to 7 minutes of time to the initial report down to literally 1 to 3 seconds.
We've gone away from surrounding call out or surround away for SWAT to first responding officers getting in the building immediately upon arrival. And that officer having some type of information, going into a building by himself, knowing where the shooter is and being able to get directly to that location is huge as far as officer safety standpoint. And this is twofold. This system, officers being off duty, living in the community, working in the community, having that alert go right to their phone I come here, watch my son play football, and I do carry off duty, and if I were to get that alert, it'll allow me to come to the school and help out. So you're going to get more of a response from officers that aren't even on the shift, that aren't working, and they'll have the information that everybody else has because it's going directly to them.
One of the Guardian's strengths is its ability to increase situational awareness during an active shooter event. As soon as a shooter is detected within the school building, the Guardian not only can activate school alarms, cameras, and lockdown protocols, but it can simultaneously notify police, fire, and ambulance, as well as create alerts directly to cell phones through the cellular network. The Guardian was designed with ease of integration in mind. Whether tied to local cameras, video management systems, or mass notification technologies, the Guardian's simple output protocols puts instantaneous situational awareness in your school's safety procedures.
Over the course of my 38-year career, one of my responsibilities was that I was in charge of the Northeast Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council SWAT team. 55 cities and towns with overall responsibility of 45 SWAT operators. I think when we reflect on our careers, we all look back on a certain moment which we found to be extremely difficult. Mine came on December 26th, 2000, at approximately 11:15 in the morning. On that day, the day after Christmas, a joyous time of year, a call came in for multiple shots fired at Edgewater Technologies in Wakefield, Massachusetts. Upon arrival in Wakefield, the scene was obviously chaotic. As I approached the building, it was obvious that we had fatalities. Myself and other SWAT team members entered the building in an effort to look for a second shooter, as one shooter was already in custody. As we went through the building, we came across 7 dead employees. And as I knelt down to check on the status on each and every one of these individuals, these are views that will remain constant with me and burnt into my mind forever. The smell of gunfire in the air, the sulfur, the muzak in the background of an office environment, the pictures of family members on desks. These are the things I remember and I carry with me. But one thing I really have to reflect upon now, with the technology that we have available, as I also thought about back then, was why did they stay in the building? Why didn't anyone run? Why didn't they evacuate? With today's technology that's available, we have the ability to protect people in an office environment, schools, hospitals, and other institutions. What I saw that day, the lives that have been changed forever, is something I hope no one ever sees. Yet we know we will see it again. The technology that's out there does make a difference, does save lives, does give people the ability to get out of harm's way, even when they don't realize that harm's way is down the hall.
The Guardian Active Shooter Detection System, when every second counts.